What's up, Stans? So-called Nas Stans. By the way, I have a video called Nas has some of the fakest fans ever. So to them, I dedicate this video. It looks like your boy Nas has gone triple wood yet again. How often are you gonna allow this? You're a stan, figure it out. Okay, are you supporting this, guys? Are you supporting those Hit Boy releases? Or are you cyberbullying, you're gangbanging on the internet, huh? Keyboard warrior. You wanna attack people like me who actually bought Nas albums and been listening to Nas longer than you've been alive, right? But you're not gonna support the album. You're just gonna talk shit to the old heads and then disappear. Okay, fair enough. But you have to understand, that doesn't help Nas's bottom line. If these Hit Boy releases are so great as you claim, they can't be going wood. I can understand them not lighting up Billboard. Hip hop, like real hip hop, has never really lit up Billboard like that anyways. Obviously, there are, exclusions in certain scenarios where it has. But in general, it doesn't sell like that. But it doesn't go triple wood either, okay? The greatest rap albums don't go triple wood. They just don't. So if this is really the next Primo or whatever, this shit should be doing like Illmatic numbers actually. Like, and this is a new, those numbers were for a new artist, okay? And those numbers, Illmatic still did way better than these new releases. Do you know what I'm saying? And obviously, we're not even gonna count over time how Illmatic is platinum and all that shit. My point is this, stands. If your shit is dope, why am I not seeing the dopeness around? Why is nobody really playing these songs? Why are they going triple wood? That's a question. So, that inspires me to actually respond to Navie D. I put a trash background, as you can tell. If you can't tell that this beat is weak, it's weak. It's called Who Killed It, okay? This is like one of the worst beats Nas ever rhymed on. For a joke, I get it, he was trolling. But this is literally, Hit Boy stuff is on this level to me. If not worse, because at least this shit has some sort of a swing to it. As bad as this, basic ass beat is. Oh man, let me switch this shit before I pass out from boredom. So, we're talking about the Nas, right? And the Navie D video, right? Navie D made this video about Nas's beat picking being awful. Now, what your boy Navie doesn't talk about is, and I'll take my notes here, is that ironically, he actually gives reasons for why Hit Boy's production is trash. If you watch the video, it's like the sad reality of Nas and basically how Nas has used Hit Boy to overcome his awful beat picking, right? And I thought the video was low-key ironic because it shows why Nas has actually dug himself in a deeper hole than ever before, in my honest opinion. So, like I've pointed out before, all the reasons that Navie D goes into detail, and I love his deconstruction. So Navie, if you ever see this, I respect your deconstructions. I don't agree with you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I think that everything you say is garbage. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, your overall argument to me isn't structured well and doesn't really work, but your deconstructions are wonderful. And so Navie basically goes into detail as to showing exactly why Hit Boy's drums, or how they're basically swingless, okay? That's an issue, okay? No swing on the drums is not something that we should praise this thing for. That's literally the definition of a trash beat. You can't say that that's a good thing in hip hop, because hip hop is all about the swing of the drum. I mean, that's literally how it started. People took James Brown shit and other breakbeats and swung it a certain way, okay? You gotta have a swing. If you don't have a swing, what the fuck are you doing in hip hop? So for him, or Navie, to praise the lack of swing is actually wild. He's literally saying, I love how non-hip hop, or how basically trash this is. That's basically what he's telling me. And he's giving it credit. I mean, again, this is the kind of stuff, and I hate to say this, but when I made the video about if you're not black, I don't trust your opinion on hip hop. I mean, this is why I go into that, because a black person would never ever say some shit like that. Oh, no swing equals dopeness. That's just that's real talk. Especially a black hip hop fan, will never order some shit like that ever. Anyway, so Navie says there's no swing and that's what makes it dope. I of course disagree. I think that's crazy. Now, the other things that he gives Hit Boy credit for was like a Middle Eastern sort of like Egyptian sample. And I'm thinking to myself, this has been done before. Hip hop had a whole period where they were doing Middle Eastern stuff. Timbaland, I would argue, kind of ushered that in a major way, but Jungle Brothers did it. Neptunes did it. You know, da, 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 oh, Nori, nothing. You know, that whole vibe. It was a thing, right? I'm old enough to remember that shit. So that's why, again, low-key Navie is, and I hope I'm saying that right, but he's low-key exposing how tired Hit Boy's ideas are, right? From the sample track choices to just how he's approaching the beats, it's all tired, right? And this is, again, part of my criticism. Things I've said about like why I'm not a big fan of this dude. And then, of course, the last thing that had me in hysterical was when he was talking about how the structured some beat that Hit Boy did was pretty much like in the same vein as French house music. That shit killed me because it's so true. And the French house music, by the way, sounded better than the Hit Boy beat. So it's like, and this has always been my problem with whack hip hop producers. It's almost like deep down, they know they can't compete in other genres, so they come to hip hop, where kind of anything goes in hip hop, right? So they go, oh, okay, well, in hip hop, no one's really gonna ask me questions, right? Like, they're not gonna, because anything goes. As long as I got good marketing, I could just, you know, I can be said to be that dude, the most innovative person, whatever. But in fact, you're trash. You don't really have the chops to compete in hip hop and make actual hip hop music, and you don't have the chops to compete in French house music or whatever, right? It's all clout. It's just, oh, I want to be famous or whatever. I don't fucking know. But it's whack, okay? And so this is the whole point, right? It's not enough, and I'm gonna play this family beat because this really illustrates my point. It's not enough to be different. You know, Navie has kind of made these videos, and I see he's a big fan of JPEG Mafia, who I'm not a fan of because, again, they're different, but they're not different and dope. You have to be different and dope. It's not about being different. Anyone could be different, really. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? Oh, like, we made, you know, beats with drums. I'm gonna just take the drums out. I'm gonna be different, right? Anyone can be different, but can you be different and dope? That's a different thing entirely, and that is a whole nother level of conversation and thought. And that's the problem with a lot of these hip-hop guys that are trying to be in the new generation, whatever. They don't really, it's like they don't like rap enough, and you can tell like they don't really know rap that well, and they're using these kind of like lame arguments to fill in the gaps, okay? Because again, you gotta be different and dope, okay? And this is why old heads make fun of y'all new heads in a sense, or a lot of times actually we don't say anything. We kind of, you know, sweep it under the rug, especially the pioneers. They sweep it under the rug. They think you're whack as fuck, by the way, but they're not gonna tell you that shit. They're still making money off y'all, okay? You know what I mean? So like, they'll sell you that lie, like, oh yeah, you're dope, man. You're really that new guy. Yeah. You're in the vein of Nas and Melly Mel, and they're just, you know, they're taxing your pockets in some way that you probably don't even realize. But that's beside the point. The point is this, right? You got to be different and dope. And that requires building on existing shit. So the point is, it's not just that you're different, right? You got to take what, you know, what's great, you got to distill that and keep it, okay? So you're not tossing everything out. You're keeping a lot of things, and you're keeping the good shit, right? And that requires distillation. This is something that a lot of these new cats do not do. So obviously they're whack as fuck. You got to take what's already ill, okay, and then go somewhere else with it while keeping the core of what's ill. That's when we start to respect you and go, whoa, you are fucking dope. It's like, again, I look at someone like a Clams or a Pierre. They take what we like about hip hop, the swing of hip hop, right? And they take it in a different direction, right? Clams was more dreamlike with it. He had that dreamlike swing to it and was super ill, okay? Pierre had that sort of video game trappy, like taking, like, it's like Dilla, but just even, I would even in a way take it further than Dilla, because Dilla played with that video gaming thing for a little bit, but didn't do it a whole lot. Whereas Pierre really took it. And now, hip-hop has always done, like Swizz Beatz and them came in sampling video games. So hip-hop has always done video gaming type shit. But what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, you've got to like you got to take something that's already dope, keep what's dope about it, and then take it in your own, spin on it in a way that we obviously haven't seen or we haven't seen in a while, right? Now, the media has been lying to you and just giving you props because again, you're in here and you're gone tomorrow, and that's fine. That's what it's about for them. It's a quick buck, right? Speaking on building on shit that was existing and now you're adding your own spin to it. The reason I was playing that Family instrumental, Rock and Roll, right? Family has this line in there where he's like, hustles in my veins, you cannot stop it, walking on the block with life in my pocket. Hard. Beautiful. It's like one of the hardest lines he spit in the whole song. Now, again, that flow, and the flow of the song in general, but that flow and the way that they do the echo, pocket, pocket, right? And that whole shit is some 80s shit, right? You could argue it comes, maybe it's like a Too Short type of flow. It kind of gives me kind of like Schoolie D, maybe Just Ice vibes. Speaking of Just Ice, let's play some Just Ice right now. So again, you're building on something that's cool because that was a style in the 80s. People don't necessarily do that, and they weren't doing that so much in the 90s. But my point is, build on something that's cool. When Just Ice and PSK, and when these guys were doing it, it was like, it gave you that energy, that power, because when you're having an echoing vocal of something memorable, you're just like, oh, that's hard, that's dope. So Family repeated that. He took that idea and made it work for him on a song that came out 20 years after the fact. Rock and Roll. And that's why that rock and roll shit is still classic to this day, because it builds on something, it builds on great hip hop and takes it further with newer production techniques and maybe a newer style and all that stuff. But if you're not building on what came before, you're garbage, respectfully. Okay? Blood World, man. See, this shit right here, I'm building on shit that's already dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know me, I'm a huge, obviously, anime fan, brother, not brother necessarily, but FMA, right? Naruto, whatever. Samurai Champloo, The Matrix, all this kind of shit. And I'm gonna build on some new shit you haven't seen before. That's why my shit's gonna be so fucking ill compared to the rest of these dudes. You gotta build on, you gotta know what's dope, and then build on that shit, right? That's how this stuff goes. So, to all you aspiring producers and rappers, just do that, please, because that's how you're going to improve the game. And to Navie and the rest of these people who are trying to give Hit Boy props for just being the new guy on the scene or whatever, y'all got to make better beats, man. Come on. Please, like, you know what I'm saying? Shit is hurting Nas. Oh, well, Nas is cemented, so he's fine. But the point is, he is not taking the game further, despite what you're thinking. In fact, if anything, all these Mids Disease and Plastic albums are contributing to the stagnation of hip-hop. You just won't say it. I'll say it, sure. But it's showing that hip-hop is actually mad stagnant. You know what I'm saying? Do better.